Hey, how are you?
WWE Superstar, the lady of WWE, the Sassy Southern Belle, Lacey Evans. This is so cool, Lacey. Military Makeover is here in South Florida. We're in Hollywood, Florida. Unofficial home of Dolph Ziggler, by the way. Just throw that out there, Hollywood, Florida. So, Chris Hixon, hero, military veteran, tragically died being a hero. Douglas High School shooting. And what Military Makeover is doing is they're actually just remodeling his whole house for his wife and his kids. Tell us a little bit about the project here.
So what they're going to come in and do for not only his wife but also his sons is give this home a complete makeover to include some special things in the backyard for his wife, Debra. She's amazing, and just something that she can go out there and relax because she's such a hard-working woman. She gives so much to not only her sons but to the community as well as a teacher. So it's really incredible what Military Makeover with Montel Williams does for veterans, but this family and what they're about to see on opening day is going to be incredible. So I'm just blessed to be able to get out here and help work and get this house ready for his family.
Military Makeover, Lifetime TV. It's an awesome, they've been doing this for years, so this is really a cool event. They'll go across the country. This is your third Military Makeover?
Yes, it is.
What was it like when you first approached about being involved in this project?
I was actually shocked because, you know, throughout my whole WWE career, my main goal from the beginning was to be able to help the world. And then me being a veteran myself and being able to get with a lot of partners like Hire Heroes, Military Makeover has just been a dream to be able to give back to veterans and their families and really just impact and motivate the world. So I was beyond shocked and just grateful that they were even considering me to come out here and kick the doors in and get everybody motivated and actually be a part of the whole process. So I mean, I just am forever thankful for WWE for even allowing this door to be open and allowing me to walk through it. So hopefully it continues and I get to help give back.
That's something WWE is very big about, is giving back to the community. Kids, adults programs, Be a Star, anti-bullying, reading programs, tribute to the troops, many things that they're involved in. What was it like for you coming in and seeing that firsthand and how you can make a difference? It
was incredible. I mean, so, you know, with the upbringing that I've had and as hard as I've worked, even as a Marine, as a military police officer, to make a difference, I'm not saying you're limited, but you don't have a platform like you do with WWE, being a WWE Superstar. So coming into WWE and week after week being sent to the YMCAs and the Be a Star rallies and Hire Heroes and helping veterans, and I mean, like I said, week after week being able to give back, and that is something that I've always wanted to do. And not only that, but using my social media and the platform that WWE has helped me build to impact people, period, and motivate them, because you know life's hard and a lot of people go through a lot of things, from veterans to civilians to everybody in between. And as a mother, a wife, a veteran, and a WWE Superstar, to be able to use my platform to help is just more than I could ask for. So it's been an incredible journey, and I hope I get more opportunities to help.
With Military Makeover, they travel throughout the country.
Right.
Many volunteers involved in these projects to remodel, redo the homes for these military veterans who've served and done so much for our country.
Right.
You're a South Florida girl. We're in South Florida. You're not far from here. Vero Beach isn't far from Hollywood, Florida.
Yeah, I graduated high school from Vero Beach, yes.
Home of the Indians.
Yep.
There you go.
I wrestled in high school, so that was kind of cool. I can plug that into WWE and what I have to do in the ring. So yeah, Vero Beach was my high school for sure. Did
you ever think you were wrestling then in high school? Did you wrestle against, or no, you didn't wrestle in high school?
No, I did.
You did wrestle in high school. Against the boys, against the girls?
Yes, both. For state qualifying, I first in the state of Florida, it was all women's tournament. 9th in the nation, it was all women's for a different style of wrestling. And then we did tournaments with the guys, you know, leading up to our state tournaments and for championships and whatnot. But yes, lots of training across the board, both male and female. Luckily, my high school had a huge women's wrestling team, so you know that was a benefit for me in regards to sports and what I do today.
Back then, what made you decide, hey, I'm going to try high school amateur wrestling?
I mean, sports has always been a big motivator of mine, whether it's softball, wrestling, anything to keep my mind occupied. My home life wasn't the best, so I realized that the busier I stayed, the more I kept my mind working and busy. Got a job as soon as I could, got in sports as soon as I could, trained hard. It helped me get through the hard times back at home. So wrestling not only let me get out my frustration, my anger, you know, in a healthy way, in a healthy competitive way, but it also helped me stay busy and motivated and on a mindset that, you know, an idle mind is the devil's handiwork. So I didn't ever let my mind get wrapped up in my home life or you know, the drug and the addiction and the depression and all that. I went to school and I went to wrestling, and by the time I was done, I was so tired that the only thing I could do was go to sleep and get ready for my next day, which definitely helped me out and stay strong and motivated as an adult.
Yeah, and what life lessons do you learn coming from a tough background and going through the whole process, and now you're a mom, you're a wife? What life lessons have you learned?
Very hard ones, but ones that I feel like are important to be who I am today and set the proper example, because life is very hard. You never know what's going to happen, but you are in control of the decisions that you make. So growing up, seeing an addicted father passed out on the ground, nobody to wake me up, I had to make these choices even as a young child to wake myself up, catch the school bus, and make sure I got the education and the sports that I needed in order to keep a straight mind. I believe that it does not matter what cards you are dealt. It depends on the game you play with them, which you have that option. So it doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter what you go through. You keep a busy mind, stay busy, stay motivated, and break the cycle, because you don't have to live the same lifestyle. You don't have to continue to have that same cycle of negativity, depression, drug addiction. Take a deep breath, stay busy, and continue to push forward, because you are in control of your future. And so that was the biggest lesson that I've learned is don't ever let a cycle that you see, a lifestyle that you are, if that's all you're used to, that's fine, but that is not all that exists, and it is up to you to find another path, to find other motivators, and stay busy to create the life that you want. And that's exactly what I did.
And you did, and very well, might I add. And you decided the military was going to be part of your path. So what came to the decision to do that? And then we'll get some of your military background.
Coming from an addict and depressed family, you feel like as a sober one and as a motivated one that it's kind of your job, because you love them, to support them, help them through the hard times, help them through the addiction, help them through the depression. And I found myself at 19 years old jumping, changing colleges and following this lifestyle to be there for them. And when I was just enabling. So I had to make a decision, and I needed better role models. I knew what kind of life I didn't want because it was all around me, but what I didn't know was what life was possible. So what better way to join the finest fighting force in the entire world, the United States Marine Corps, to get the role models, the motivation, the drive, the discipline that I need in order to finish building up the woman that is standing in front of you today. So, and then military police officer, setting the proper example even further, and stopping the negativity, stopping the bad people that are continuing to try to bring others down and hurt others. And so it was just a perfect opportunity, and the best decision I've ever made as a mother, as a wife, as a sports entertainer, because it gave me the grit, the confidence, the initiative, and the discipline that I have today to continue on a bigger platform to set the proper example and make good decisions and show the world what's possible.
Lacey Evans, unbelievable talent, unbelievable wrestler, superstar, and she's here at Military Makeover, the house of late Chris Hixon, Marjory Stoneman Douglas, high school athletic director, and also a military vet himself, helping their family with this great project. What is some of the military background? What ranks have you held?
I got out from active duty as a sergeant. I was, like I said, a military police officer, honor graduate, company's highest shooter, as well as the only female on a SWAT team. So I've done quite a lot in my 5 years of active duty, a total of 8, 3 inactive reserves, which I just got out last year. But I mean, when it comes to discipline, being able to wake up early, hit the road, I mean, even in WWE 03:30, we're normally up, ready to catch our next flight. We have to figure out how to get a workout in, how to train to be on camera, how to perform, how to speak with the general public and everything in between. So the military really set me up with the discipline needed in order to do all that, the initiative needed to get myself up to continue, and just the confidence needed to look you in the eye and say what I'm saying right now. So yeah, I mean, I definitely credit the Marines for training me and making this woman right here.
When you decided I'm going to join the Marines, and then you were coming to the end of that era,
right?
What made you decide, hey, sports entertainment, pro wrestling, WWE?
I never even honestly considered it. I didn't really watch WWE growing up. I wasn't, you know, I wasn't a fan of it. And my staff sergeant did Indies wrestling in my last year in, and so I just thought it was something fun. I wanted to go check out, and within 2 weeks, I had WWE offering a tryout. And because I was still active duty, I had to make a decision. My master guns gave me the clearance to go in and for the 3 days in Orlando, Florida, and give it all I had. Came back, reported back in, got back to work, and got a phone call that they wanted to offer me a contract. And at that very moment, I had to make a decision, either get out and end my military career in order to transition into WWE as an entertainer. Never dreamed of being famous, never cared about money. I still live in a camper trailer to this day. But I knew that my platform and the people that I can impact, which has always been a goal of mine, would explode, and that I would be able to get opportunities to make a difference on a larger scale than what I was. So it was a no-brainer, and I took the contract with WWE in order to make differences and help people that are going through hell, because we are all going through hell, but I know firsthand that we can make it out.
And while you were at the WWE Performance Center, tell us a little bit about that facility and the work of Sarah Amato.
Oh, Sarah Amato is amazing. She helped create the character of Lacey Evans, and my in-ring ability, which still perfecting and learning every single day. Probably the biggest, the hardest thing to learn was the acting side, because growing up, like I said, with my upbringing, we didn't really have time to play around or act. I got right into the military. I've worked my whole life, but I've never really got to perform, or, you know, it was all serious my whole life. So I really had to be able to learn, not the physical in-ring side, because like I said, I did wrestling in high school. I'm very aggressive anyway, but it was the character side. So Sarah Amato definitely put a lot of time. The Performance Center itself put a lot of time and work into being able to let go of all that anger and that the realism of the negativity and how serious life was. And that was the hardest part for me, was to be able to finally say I'm okay. I don't have any weapons that I need to withdraw. I don't have any threats I need to stop. My life is okay now. I'm making money, and my baby's happy, my husband's happy, and to be able to transition mentally that and tell myself that life is going to be, you're okay, so you can have fun and take a deep breath. That was hard for me, and learn the character side when the camera comes on and we go live, because I am a real person and I am a matter of fact angry, you know, so to be able to release that and just say I'm Lacey Evans and I'm just happy as ever, that was hard for me. So
excuse me, Miss Evans, you're back.
If you don't get out of my interview immediately. Where were you, sir?
Let me tell you something. How rude, the Sassy Southern Belle.
The audacity of some people around here, and to think that is the director of Military Makeover. He should know by now, after my 3rd time on set, not to, one, interrupt my interview. Thank you. That's how pissed off I am. And for 2, touch my belongings.
I'll tell you something. You know what, Lacey, just one big nasty is what I think.
You are, and so is he, but that's beside the point, sweetheart.
So, Lacey, when you were going to be WWE Superstar, did you guys come across and say, hey, because this is very different. You just mentioned that from who you are, but did you think, hey, maybe I'll do something military based for my character?
Definitely, because it's really not being done, especially on the female side of things. And one thing I learned quickly was you have to stand out, you have to be different. So looking around, you always find women, men too, but they want to show how badass they are, that they can do what the boys can do, but very rare do you see a feminine woman who can, you know, put the gloves on and the hats and the purses and still convince you that they could bake a pie just as good as they can fire a weapon and kick your ass. So I decided that to show a different side of women and to remind the world that, you know, women can look like this, wear a good red lip, hold a purse, take care of their kid, breastfeed while they're loading a weapon at the same freaking time, and take care of their husbands, and still be badasses, because I tell you what, we can. And with that being said, I love feminine qualities of a woman. I think that the world is forgetting what women are capable of on not only that aspect but the other. So that's what I want to bring to the table. Women are beautiful, but we are also badasses. So I will do both with a dress on.
That description, now that's multitasking right there. I don't think anyone's ever multitasking like that. That's what makes you the WWE Superstar who you are. Lacey, I want to talk a little bit about Tribute to the Troops.
Okay.
Let me do this.